Hello, I'm Bhakti Kothari from Indian Masterminds, and today we bring you an inspiring and insightful conversation with Miss Vandana Sagar, an IRS officer from the 1992 batch, currently serving as the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, International Taxation, South Zone in Bengaluru. An exceptional academic achiever, and an accomplished sportsperson, her journey beautifully blends leadership, resilience, and discipline, both on and off the field. So let's welcome her. So, very warm welcome to our channel, ma'am. We're really glad to have you here today.
My pleasure.
So, ma'am, from excelling academically to reaching the top ranks of the IRS, what drove you in the early years when you joined the service?
I think the getting into the IRS or civil services was a dream that my father saw.
Mm-hmm.
And since I was fairly good at studies, so my father had pinned all his hopes on me. So that I was kind of blinkered by his vision and his dream about my
Oh,
career goals.
uh,
So, and it was only civil services and nothing outside of that. So
hmm,
that was drove me to civil services, and depending on your ranks, you get into one of these services. So that
hmm.
was IRS, and ever since I would say it's been very fulfilling to
Okay.
put it in one.
Okay. So like looking
But
back at your life, what
mhm.
decision do you think that you ever took changed the entire trajectory of your life the most?
Actually, the most I would say the decision to come to Mumbai was one. It
Hmm.
my decision to come to Mumbai and the department's decision to put me in tribunal, which is
Hmm.
where the litigation happens
Hmm.
between the department and the taxpayer. So that is something that judicial part is something which is within my wheelhouse, and I love
Hmm.
doing that.
Yeah.
So we came here in 2008. So I would say 2008 was the annus mirabilis in my career because a tribunal is one place which makes you lock horns with the best of the brains
True.
on the other side. And then it also has the potential to sharpen you and make you like as sharp as a tack. And
Hmm.
then and then you interact with the best of the people in the field and also deal with the most complex issues. So
Hmm.
Bombay and Thailand was, I would say, the sliding door moment for me.
That's great, ma'am. And like we mentioned that you came into the service, आपकी journey वहाँ से शुरू हुई. As a female IRS officer, considering that, what were the biggest challenges that you faced on your journey, and how did you overcome them?
It's for a woman, it's always a work-life balance.
Yeah.
So, and I guess women are more inclined towards uh, balancing the family than men.
Hmm.
But if you have a supportive spouse, it makes things easier. So that's been my case.
Right, ma'am. And
And again, being
Mhm.
in tribunal is what helped me in balancing the on both the fronts because you work in the tribunal for half a day. The rest half you are on your own dealing with the files. You can do it at home. So that gave the flexibility to manage both the things.
Right, so it was fairly easier,
Yes,
क्योंकि मतलब आपका job did not require you to be in the office the entire day, so you were
yes.
also able to look after your
Good.
family.
It's a good part of the career, and I
Right.
chose to be there.
Right. And having said
Mhm.
that, like one question that comes to my mind is for people or for female officers जिनके पास ये liberty नहीं होती है, so how do you
Mhm.
think they are able to manage it? And if not, तो आपके लिए अगर कुछ advice है उनके पास, उनके लिए तो अगर.
I just whenever these kind of questions are posed to me, I always say, don't weaponize your tears. Treat yourself as a human being, as an individual. Don't treat yourself as a woman officer. So
Hmm.
when you do that, the others also do that.
Hmm.
So just behave like a normal person. You don't
Right,
have to
ma'am.
you don't have to work double the times to prove your point or make others see that you're working hard. When once you work hard just as much as others do, that takes care of the things.
Right. That's really nice. And right now you're posted as the Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. It's such a senior
Yeah.
post, such a high demanding post. So like typically right now, what does a day in your life look like? How do you go about your day?
Well, my day begins with tennis in the morning.
Hmm.
So get up at 5 and I'm in the court by 6.
Hmm.
And by 7:45, the tennis gets over, then about half an hour of gym, and back home,
Hmm.
breakfast, get ready for office,
Hmm.
and then 6:30 is the office.
Hmm.
Then back home with my family and my pet.
So, ma'am, I would really like to know what is your most impactful assignment so far?
If you ask anyone, the most impactful assignment for anyone in their career, they worked in the investigation wing, it is that. So
Mm-hmm.
that if you know what is commonly known as raid,
Hmm.
so it's actually a search and seizure operation. So that's one posting which gives you the biggest kick in your life. So
Hmm.
the reconnaissance part and all that reiki, that is what
Hmm.
really
Hmm.
puts you on a different level altogether in terms of work
Yeah.
satisfaction. And
Yeah.
again, the second is, I would say, tribunal,
Hmm.
uh, which is which floats my boat. So I love working in the tribunal. I love judicial work. So these
Hmm.
have been the two impactful assignments for me.
Hmm. Have you ever faced an ethical dilemma in your career? मतलब कभी कुछ ऐसा हुआ जो हाँ आपको लगा हो कि ethically कुछ सही हो सकता है कुछ गलत हो सकता है आप डिलेमा में आ गई हो और अगर ऐसा कभी हुआ है so how did you navigate it?
I think ethical dilemma happens when you know the other side personally.
Yeah.
So, but which is one reason why I never chose to work in NWR, which is
Mm-hmm.
Chandigarh is my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So I never opted to be there. I was never posted there. So in a way, I never faced this kind of ethical dilemma. So I was
Hmm.
able to work objectively without being influenced
Hmm.
uh, in either way.
Okay. So, moreover, मुझे एक ही question भी था कि you are such a high profile officer. You also play tennis. You have so much going on in your life. With all of this, what keeps you grounded?
I guess when you know that what the position that you're holding is not a position of power so much as it is a position of responsibility. So
Hmm.
more than a privilege, it's a responsibility that you are uh, put to execute,
Hmm.
and the power you feel you have the power to serve the people. So
Hmm.
that and if you keep reminding yourself that if you were to avail services of another department as
Hmm.
a commoner, what is it that you expect? How would
Hmm.
you feel if you were not treated well?
Right.
And I think it also comes from probably upbringing and some personal values. I treat every individual with equal amount of respect, whether it's
Hmm.
it's the person on the lowest rung or person at the who's my boss. The
Hmm.
respect doesn't wane with that, with the status of the person.
Right, ma'am.
And then if you keep yourself surrounded with people who will not hold back their criticism, then also I think it works to keep you grounded.
Right, ma'am. And you've been in the Indian taxation system for so long now. You've seen so many reforms, so many policies. What is that one reform that you would like to see in India's taxation system soon?
um, Ease of compliance is one,
Hmm.
and and then this is what would also encourage voluntary compliance. I know of a friend in Singapore. She says we just have to sign at the dotted line for our return.
Hmm.
Everything is pre-filled. They don't need to worry as to whether it's right or wrong. So that kind of
Hmm.
level, if we can reach, we have made we have made some positive moves in that direction. There's a lot happening already. If
Hmm.
you see, we have a lot of reporting entities who, from where we get where the department gets a lot of data, and
Hmm.
that's also populated in your annual information statement. That's called AIS. So if you
Hmm.
log into your portal, you will see a lot of data in that, all the of the transactions that you have made. So
Hmm.
it becomes easier for you to comply.
Hmm.
So whatever more we can do to make it even easier
Hmm.
and necessitate voluntary compliance, although
Right,
it's an
ma'am.
oxymoron to say necessitate voluntary compliance, but that's where we move towards.
Yeah. Right, ma'am. And how do you see India's tax system evolving, maybe in the coming decade or so? How do you see it evolving?
Digitization is one thing, which is like moving on a very in a geometric progression.
Hmm.
The way department is doing that,
Hmm.
and it's getting more and more data driven. So probably in next 10 years, it's going to be maybe 10x of what it is today.
Yeah.
And another thing is like trust-based administration, where
Hmm.
again we can have a high level of voluntary compliance,
Hmm.
where people
Right.
are less disgruntled with the department and more satisfied.
So now moving on from your career and the decisions that you've taken, your life as an IRS officer, you are also an avid sports person and you play tennis. You are not just playing tennis for as a hobby, but you've also won tournaments. So how has sports shaped your personality? I mean, how did you get into sports and how did it ultimately bring you here where you are right now?
Well, it's not just tennis, it's badminton, it's shot put, it's javelin,
Mm-hmm.
it's all of that.
Yeah.
And I would say it was rather than sports impacting my personality, it was first my personality which impacted sports.
Okay.
In the sense that I don't sweat small stuff. I can maintain grace under fire. So that has helped me on the court.
Hmm.
So I'm very emotionally balanced when I'm playing.
Hmm.
I don't. I like it's mentally. I'm very balanced.
Hmm.
So that probably helps me do well in sports, whatever if it is whatever has happened so far.
Hmm.
And the impact of sports, on the other hand, has been that again it helps you be mentally agile most of the
Hmm.
time,
Hmm.
and of course it gives you a daily dose of dopamine,
Yeah.
which is a collateral advantage that it comes with. And
Hmm.
every time you, and since I do it every day, I play every day, so you get a second wind all the time. You're
Hmm.
always ready to take up the challenges at the
Hmm.
workplace.
Right, that's true, ma'am. And what similarities do you see between competitive sports and civil services? Is there any?
Not just competitive sports, I would say any, even if you're just playing generally also there's a lot
Yeah.
of fairness required when you're
Hmm.
playing, and that's also same in the
Hmm.
civil services. Both expect fairness and both work within the rules. You
Hmm.
have to play within the set rules. You can't make your own uh, decisions contrary to the rules. The same way here, you need to follow the rules and work within the set boundaries.
Hmm. Right, ma'am. And could you also
And if
please
you
tell me?
and if you enjoy being a civil servant, both the things give you pleasure as well.
That's true, actually. And can you please tell me a little bit about the sports, the different kind of sports that you play, and the medals or the awards that you've like the tournaments that you won till now?
But the list is long, fairly long.
Just
Uh,
like
the,
just.
okay, so the last one I won was in December 2025, which was the All India Civil Services Tournament.
Hmm.
So I won the gold in the mixed doubles category,
Oh wow.
and uh, and then there were like regional sports happening, civil services Karnataka. So again, I won mixed doubles,
Hmm.
uh, tennis, and
Hmm.
also silver in mixed doubles badminton.
Hmm.
So javelin and shot put happen only once a year. There
Hmm.
is a separate tournament by the name Veterans Athletic Federation of India that conducts it annually. So I
Hmm.
don't practice on a routine basis. It's just a week before that I do that.
Hmm.
So these are and besides playing, I've also had the fortune of organizing a lot of sports events
Oh, really?
on behalf of the department. Yes,
Oh,
two
okay.
tennis All India events, one badminton event. So that's
Hmm.
been
Oh, that's great.
at
So,
the
like,
national level for the department.
okay, so what goes into organizing these sports events, especially uh as a civil servant, because we kind of have an idea about different organizations that do it their way. But when it comes to civil services, I'm pretty sure there must be some difference between the two. So like is there any different things that you have to follow to organize a proper sporting event? How do you invite people? What exactly goes on?
So we first, I think it should be the same the others in non-civil service tournaments also. We book a venue tentatively, then we share the details with the department, the HR department that that vertical that allows us or
Hmm.
encourages us to do that. Then we give an estimate of funds, how much it is expected to take. So once the approvals come, then we write to the principal commissioners, principal chief commissioners in all the 18 regions to send
Mm-hmm.
their participants and frame the rules, which are also annexed along with,
Mm-hmm.
and then just get the
Just
participants
sync of
list
it.
through Google Sheet.
Hmm.
And,
Okay, so we talk about a lot of winning. Can you also recall a sporting loss that taught you an important life lesson?
as I mentioned, I was into too many things.
Hmm.
Javelin, shot put, tennis, badminton, and there was also discus throw at one point of time.
Hmm.
So these field events used to happen together: discus, shot put, and javelin.
Yeah.
So generally, I would get something or the other, some medal or the other in these. And once I
Mhm.
didn't get anything in discus throw, I realized I've lost my edge in that.
Hmm.
So that the lesson I learned was you don't need to have your finger in every pie. You
Hmm.
need to be focused in what you're good at and improve
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
So okay to not play everything,
Hmm. Right,
not
ma'am.
dabble in everything basically.
And how do you balance how do you balance your time between a demanding career and your personal passions?
Oh, I never call it a trade-off. So
Mm-hmm.
it's never a balancing act. When you love something, you always find time for that.
Hmm.
And as I mentioned, when you're playing it, it gives you a second wind. It makes you feel happy. So it prepares you for the rest of the day to work well in your office.
Right. And like you mentioned, that staying positive, things work for you, but there must be some days when your motivation is very low or when you don't feel like working out, when you don't feel like pushing yourself. How do you cultivate discipline on days like these?
Those days are few and far between when I feel low. In
Hmm.
fact, the day we are not able to get four people to play tennis is when I feel low, and then we try hard, desperately to get some people to get going and be there as partners in the game because
Hmm.
we need at least four people. So I generally don't feel low. So
Hmm.
whenever those days are there, I just listen to good, happy, feel good songs.
Oh, that's nice. And
But
how do
then
you?
for that, "Don't Worry, Be Happy" by Bobby McFerrin. That's
Oh,
my favorite.
that's nice, ma'am. How do you unwind after a particularly demanding day at work, in life in general? So, what is your mode of unwinding?
I like to watch comedy,
Hmm.
and it's never a demanding day because I love my work, so it's never a demanding day.
Hmm.
So
I like how you're so
then
passionate about your job also and your sports also. Like, there's literally nothing that you're not passionate about. Whatever you're doing, you're just loving every bit of it. And this is really motivating, to be very honest.
that's why I never feel tired.
Yeah, exactly. And also, is there any other hobby or passion that people would be surprised to know about?
And those in my close circles do know that I do a lot of. I'm very passionate about gift packing.
Ooh, okay.
In the
Okay.
sense like very differently, and I have a huge stock of wrapping papers, ribbons, and the artificial flowers,
Mm-hmm.
huge stock.
Hmm. Okay, this is
So,
something that I did not see coming, to be very, very honest. This is very
and
surprising.
in fact, around COVID time when life was low, so again I used to do that, and whenever we would get time to gift to somebody,
Hmm.
I also started writing a blog on that
Oh,
for
okay.
some time. It hasn't carried on, but I did it for some time.
Yeah, okay. That's really interesting. I mean, I've heard this for the first time that somebody is also passionate about gift wrapping. But then again, like I just said, you are passionate about everything that you do in life. You love everything that you are doing. So that's pretty motivating. It's very inspiring. And I had a lovely, lovely conversation with you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I would love to stay in touch with you.
Yeah, yeah, my pleasure. It's been nice talking to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this engaging conversation with Miss Vandana Sagar. Hope you liked it. Please like, share, and subscribe to Indian Masterminds and keep watching.